something new today, so that's wonderful. Um, Welcome. I am doing something new today. We've been over here in these energies, and for me today, what happened was I sat down to pull the cards to kind of get a cosmic energy read on the collective with the CoHUE32 degrees and kind of where we're at. And these are the cards that came out. And in a way, and we're going to talk about what I was seeing and how they came out. And then it's like these cards ended up helping me set the scene to do this video. Is really how it ended up. And it's a little bit different for me not to be staring at y'all, not to be on camera. So, anyway, we're going to give it a shot. These are the CoHUE 32 degree cards. They're going to be coming to you soon. We're perfecting them, and right now we're using them. So what we got, the first two cards that came out were Algorab, which again is where this full moon is going to be in. I'm looking at my calendar. I got lots of other stuff over here on the side. It's going to be on April 5th. So it's 7 days above us right now on the calendar. It's the day that's right above us. And Algorab, I'm going to read you what's on the card. It's number 17, and this is the Libra hinge of balance of all light and dark in the wheel. So if you will, here's another analogy. You know, the star card. I don't know if you the star card and she's got the wheel and then she's pouring water out. Well, that'd be Algorab. Because Algorab out in the cosmos, this star, because of this Al angle, and it is hooked into even Aldebaran and the other Al gates. And if you go look at the cosmos, there's a lot of owls, and I got a lot of them around me and my family even. But Al Gore Rab, it also has AB in it for a reason. It's a hinge out there, and it holds that 12 to 16 degrees of Libra, which is then shooting straight over to that Alpha Draconic Notice 44 that I was talking about yesterday, which is where all this energy just went through to get the collective physics. It really is. It's a big old beaker of energy out there. So that Libra hinge of balance to all light and dark. It's the light that sparks from the wielder's well. So if that wheel is zoom 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 and you got friction, Algorab's going to be that friction, and it's going to be that spark that's also makes money. It makes any type of boom. You know, this is because my son's in this energy. My son and my Libra party. So when you have Algorab in your energy, and that's 12 to 16 degrees Libra, anywhere in your chart, or if your MC is on it, or if opposite your MC, the very opposite your MC in the lower house, you know. So if you have air, like if you've got Andromeda, uh, no, if you've got Alpha Draconic Notice 44 on your MC, which is 12 to 19 degrees of Aries, then you'd even be a master soul because your IC is directly opposite your MC. And wherever your IC is, you're a master soul from there. So if you was a master soul from Algorab, then that would mean that you are that star wheel on that star card that's balancing all that energy always and you're kind of like the top cylinder of all the energies coming from the lower house And then everything that's going through the alchemy cycle of Scorpio and Sagittarius, because you're linked in, and then all the way to where it closes on the other side. I saw like a snail shell and how a shell is made, with the Fibonacci sequence. So Algorab is where we're lining up right now. And if you've got that energy in your chart, then that's also why, boom, everything just like happens to you. Kabam! It's like it can be really, really good, and it can also be really, really bad. And the thing with the Algorab energy too is that really, really bad, most people don't see that at all. Most people don't see that at all in this energy. They only see the good, because this Algorab energy, hey, you're a wheel, you can make another spark, right? It's a powerful ability to change the collective currents, and no shadows are allowed because this is Ma'at scale. So when you hold this energy, it's also like boom, shadows just cannot hold when this energy is around. It can't. It will split from it. It's also number 17, number 8, right? Don't be rushed. Don't be rushed is the key here. And the power to wait for the right move, which is exactly what I was talking about yesterday. And again, this is balance. This is the scale. So the other thing to remember in this energy is no decision is sometimes a decision. And why are you in the middle of it? Whatever it is, those are just good questions to ask. Now that one came out first, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then right after that, we got number 2. And number 2 is Andromeda. And this is where we're going to have the new moon that's going to come on the 20th right after. And this is an Aries. It's the master decan of Aries. It's bright yellow and dark navy blue. Dark navy blue, that one we talked about yesterday. Andromeda is the consciousness of space. It's a human attachment to the 22 star races. It's new skills. How have you been working on them on land? Okay, is a key question for this energy as well. Bridging star creations to Earth from the inside out. But remember, you're on the ground now. So this area and this is what's expanding this galactic consciousness, understanding that the human is made up of all different energies, that we're all different races that all went into a melting pot no matter where you're at, and then we all went through an evolutionary cycle. We're going through it right now. And but Andromeda is more of that space energy from way out. It's a galactic perspective. What we also learned about Andromeda is that, and I describe it, the best way to describe it is that it was kind of like, again, like a hinge holding port from these other interdimensional areas that were set up because they were built, they were concentrated on, scientists were working on them, blah, 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 blah. So it's like all these middle creations in between what you would call interdimensional galactic ports, even Stargate, um, because what we've learned is that really all of those were really kind of like bubbles. They were bubbles that were being held separate from a whole in some way or another. And what's happening over the next, I mean, until 2032 for sure. I mean, that's the year I know as a date that some big piece of this will be over. So we've got another 10 years. But more of this is going to be understood. However, from the DNA side, and because that's my specialty over here with the journey that I walked with all of y'all, there were also, if you like, three Yodas. I want to call them like Yodas because there were three body templates and divine template sets, if you want to call them divine. But basically, it was an original template set holding DNA sequences, but not just for humans. It was, for instance, one Yoda could have the consciousness of all the 22 star races that were putting together consciousness to come back here, right? Whereas the human perspective is going to be looking out. There's a whole consciousness of knowing what's been going on to get back even. Okay. That those 22 star races that were and all, and this is also even linked to all of the black market DNA stuff, all of them wanting our tissues, those types of things were what these Yodas, if you will, were holding. I mean, really, like how I saw it was all they were like in pods. And it was really linked into holding human template forms. And however, since it was, but it's a space program. It was done all out in space. It was done in consciousness, Scientology, even Jehovah Witness. Even then, this is where it cross sections into the weird Utah Mormon stuff. Even all of that even would be covered in this Andromeda energy. Because but the key is that to remember that it's coming from the inside out now in this energy, not the outside in. And the Andromedan perspective is going to think everything on the outside, because think about it, if you're in space and you're on a ship, you can't move. You can't just be like, I'm gonna go for a walk, or when water's running out, it's a big freaking deal. There's a whole nother perspective of living in space. You're not in space anymore. You don't need to put a lock shield on the house before you walk outside, right? You don't need to necessarily hoard water. You don't need to hoard. See, this is also hoarders. Hoarders sometimes have, because they've reverted into this energy, and I don't care what you tell them, they're going to feel like they're on a spaceship somewhere. That's why agoraphobia even. Sometimes this energy is involved with people who have agoraphobia. So see, balancing, and then 9, and then we've got 8 and 2, that's 10. Then I said, okay, tell me what this is balancing on this side with Andromeda, and then tell me what's on the other side of Algorab. And I got, this is energy number 16. I hope if y'all like this, give me a thumbs up. And I hope my intention is that this is answering some of your questions about what energies are going on around us, and what, just let me know if this is helping you. What's balancing out on this Andromeda is exactly what this card says and what I just said, from the inside out, not the outside in. Okay, so not building an avatar and then jumping in it. However, that's a piece of it. But then you have to really feel and be the avatar in order for that projection to line up, right? And number 16 energy is Libra. It's Libra, but it's the very beginning degrees of Libra. Okay, it's I'm going to show you on here because it's red, deep red, and then kind of a turquoise blue. Okay, and it's the only energy in Libra that's not all yellow or an orange. So if you see how these come into Libra, all this energy's got to make it through the red. It's got to make it through the red. You've got to look for the blue. So this is why, you know, this energy really does then project the blue. And so it's at the very beginning degrees of Libra, and this is what I was talking about. It's like a body, it's a collective body template. This is why all Libras we're somewhat good looking. We have an attraction about if you have Sun in Libra, if you've got Venus in Libra for sure. If you just naturally have a symmetry lined up about your features, everything else. That's even Libra is so linked in with Giza. The reason the pyramids and the faces and the Sphinx and the faces were so lined up so perfectly with the geometry was for now. Because what we got children with droopy eyes. We did. The D and everything got down here, and it wasn't how it's supposed to be working anymore because we had so much interference too and all types of stuff that was going on in the back end with this on the dark side. But I don't want to get into that. But that is what's been going on, right? The ability to wield this red and even the red root race and even control it, right? Because this is that if they can control this layer, which is what they were doing, then they were controlling this ray not even coming in is basically what was going on down here before 2019. It took 2 years to get it turned back on, but now this layer's turned back on. So on this Andromeda, in everybody, because this energy is coming through and projecting through in a cosmic, organic way, the way it was always supposed to be, without any artificial anything else, without technology, none of that is all already in the soup. So the ancient wisdom of polarities is what this energy. Okay, so the ancient winds of polarities. This is a bone template for 33 masonry. Now, it's not. It is what it is. This is where we're talking about even collective characters and projections and people. You know, even celebrities signing up to be or accidentally becoming a different entity because of what they're calling themselves and what the money's backing them to become. Okay, this would even be that type energy. But if you have this energy, you already can shift that quick as well. But also know your energy was being utilized in the collective for that type stuff. But if you just came through ascension in some way or form, you kind of know that now because that's what attacks or whatever's been going on because you've been reclaiming your energy from a 33 parallel projection, right? And then so then ensued some type of battle to prove if it was you. Kind of like, well, I'm seeing the screen, you know, when those pictures pop up and it's like, tell me if you're not AI and where are the stoplights? Oh my gosh, sometimes those are tricky. There was a period through this where my energy went so tech that I couldn't even pass some of those when I was coming through this processing. I'm not even joking. It's a human template avatar made for the Matrix, and you have high-end body codes. Connection to Isis and Egyptian shift code what is that word? I can't read my writing. When I say ISIS, I don't mean the shadow necessarily of that, but whenever you're dealing with blood and even healing, or even the spiritual practitioners that show up and give you the really cool tarot readings, and get into all the tea and whatever, this is what they know, because their energy is telling you about the blood. It's telling you about the people. It's telling you about this and this and that. Well, whenever you're changing something, then that the low shadow off of blood is the most densest you can get. The denser the blood, the deeper the root. Whenever you go down to change that, and I'm talking about for the collective, because that's when we're clearing curses, and we're clearing, and because this was all about clearing these DNA sequences in order to have one human template down here again that works in the energy grids, that allows us to project our energetic, which is what we all rebirthed. We did. But our body is still going through this processing, those of us who birthed it, and the entire cosmos and universe is reacting from it, because it was a collective thing that happened here. It was being controlled by the 33. So this is like whenever I talk about being in corporate America, and the old version of me and all of that, I can clearly see, how I was being run. And those of us that are like that, it's like, if you, I mean, look back to what all you could accomplish in a day back then. I mean, like when you look back, and whenever you're in a current that's producing corporate wealth and that type of thing. I mean, this is Elon Musk keeps popping in my head again. He's come up in my things 2 days in a row now. I don't know why, because I really don't think and talk about him a lot. But that guy, that's why he's so tired. I mean, my God. But I've been in the energy that's been backed by so much power, and people wanting to, that are hooked into you to make money, make money. You would be surprised whenever you're inside that circuit and you're the one in charge, how much it will, you'll keep going. You keep going, you keep going, and then finally your body just, I mean, right? That's, or something, or it takes over. But I don't know why that's coming up with this energy right here, balancing that out, because as an energetic realm, we're literally balancing it out in this middle hinge layer with everyone on the planet right now. Tune up to the new energy and try another way. So this is also, realize it in this energy, what we're doing in our subconscious is also kind of being able to read what the plays are, how we want to maneuver through life, the game of life. We're really starting to get some tools. We've got some instructions. Okay. Now it's getting, we're going to make it fun. So if you, and this is where we were talking about getting up again and trying it a new way, and even me using the cards today and letting the cards speak and trying a new way is a great example. It doesn't necessarily mean that everything that you've done up to now was for nothing. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous thinking. Of course it was on your journey. Of course you had to get to this point, but something wasn't going to connect right, or the other party wasn't ready to be able to come in and make that connection. What this degree is getting us to understand is that, command that, call those intentions in. Where is my tribe? How do I need, please, collective ancestors, what energy do I need to what do I need to change up? Speak to me, show me, guide me. If I need to set up a system for you to talk to me, let me know. We can start with colors. This is a great way. Your numbers, all those things are the energies around you that are and that are already connected to your manifestation that's happening in the higher dimensions, because that's where we're at right now. It's starting to come down on us. We're starting to be, but remember, if you're an ascended and you've come through your healing, that you're an energy processor. Remember, you can send out those codes to the 33 parallel. Command everything move up to the 44. Drop all the shadows. Get it in your body. Get it, talk about it in your body. You can't fake this. You can't fake notice one. And it is, and so on the other side, so that's what we've got on this side with the Andromeda. Okay. Then on the other side, what came out was Orion High Eight. Now that's orange. And that's right here. As you come out of Taurus, as you come out of the Pleiades. And this is we have some snugglers. I can't wait to show y'all. I don't know if you get little glimpses, and I'm teasing y'all right now, but some of our clothes are starting to come in that are high vibe clothes in our colors, and we're little snugglers and fun things. It's all going to be on the website. Fun little outfits that are cute, cute, cute. This one's called the Snuggler, and I've got one too in the outfit in this color, this bright yellow to be a spark. But today I was feeling healing, right? So I'm wearing this the blue moon snuggler is really what it is. It says it's lavender, but it looks like this color, don't it? It's Pleiadian blue. On the flip side of that, when you go into Gemini, it is dense energy. So it's like whenever you're coming from the stars and you're going into the Orion orb, because when you go out there in the cosmos, when you come into the Orion worm, that's those three projectors. That's we were all being ruled with Orion. The whole thing was being ruled from Orion. That was the problem. That was the problem. That's why we had to go wake up Ophiuchus way out here to put a bubble over Orion, because everybody was getting charged and charged to death and blah 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 because of what was going on down here. Okay, this high AIDS energy, that's the Elohim. This is the fallen angels. Okay, well, here's where they fell from. They fell from the birth canal into in the Orion grid. Well, when you get down and jump into Gemini, this is the most densest energy really in the whole cosmos. And this is why I say if you because this degree really don't start until Gemini 2 to 7 degrees. But if you have zero degree Gemini energy, or 29 degree Taurus energy, or like 1 degree Gemini energy, you're a blue avian. Even not an avian, you're right here. You're a blue avian. Why are you blue? Because it's a projection from a star. It's a projection from a mind. It's projection from a create. It's projection from something. Could even be a projection of you projecting you. But no matter, it's the connection that's going into an electric Orion grid made from O race, alpha draconic. It is what it is. It holds the energetic system. It's a static charge. It's what makes up your ley lines and da 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 da. This is why your Orion beings can move around the matrix so much easier, because they have this energetic. People who have a lot of Orion energy, these are the ones that can see you and watch you and jump into other people's energies and take it over and talk to you. I mean, my God, we had the craziest stuff on the journey with this energy, seeing it in a pure form. But that is why it's called the Elohim and the fallen angels, because that is how. dense it is, but that's also how light it is also. Because if you're a firefly and you fall into the density, it's going to be totally different than a cockroach, right? So it's shining through this, because once you make it to the through and shining your projection through this little, because no matter this wheel's going, and as a collective we come through this four energy. I said it yesterday on the video too. That four energy. It's the battle of light and dark. It's the first layer when you activate out of unconsciousness. Every single one of us. It's the very first layer whenever you're conscious, whenever you become Christed and you activate your, because that's what Christ is, and that whole thing is Christed. That's connecting your cosmic cable at the bottom of your spine. It's your root chakra, and a connection all the way up to your third eye, and to have a complete connection to be able to make sense of what I'm telling you right now. When you break that CC33 connection in your body to become Christed, to become enlightened, what it's all about, the first layer you go through is an Orion high AIDS type layer. It don't matter if it's geared in the lower dimensions of space from your perception, or if you are in the bottoms of hell. Whatever it is, it's going to be the lowest dimensional experience from it, because you're the firefly that fell in it. You're supposed to remember your firefly, and you got to keep going. You got to keep going. Those that remember that they're angels, they keep going. I mean, but this is why we've had such a hard time down here, because this is how you get through these gates. And right on the other side of this one is our Archangel Michael, Aldebaran. Right on the side of this is Aldebaran. And so basically, it's like how I see it is that Aldebaran's made up of all us angels that just got out of here. Our projections made it all the way through Orion and Hyades and hit Aldebaran to get to that purple above the blood, above the blue. No more red and blue. Even if it's deep red, it's still red and blue, right? Orange and blue on the other side ain't that much better, but you see what I'm saying? So then I said, okay, what is the underlying from all that? And I get number 26, Lyra 1. Now this is the very beginning degrees of Capricorn. So we've got the balancing of the galactic. We've got Algorab, which is energetic, but it's also then starting to gauge what's going into the human form. We've got on the opposite hot side here, kind of like that energetic reaction that's happening because this is shining through. And then Lyra 1 would be considered the first root race, says consciousness and creator beings. So 0 to 9 degrees, that's Lyra 1. Capricorn, 0 to 9 degrees, that's Lyra 1. This is original, and it doesn't matter who you are. This is when I first activated, and I was talking about the stuff that I knew was coming through my consciousness that I couldn't explain how I knew. I just knew. And then I started seeing it with all the astronomy stuff, and as I was bringing in this modality and understanding the mind and understanding the body and how things are really, really projected down here and how the collective works together to do it. Okay, that's Lyra 1. Now Lyra 1 is connected to so many energies, no matter, and that's why it's the originals of everything. It don't matter what it's the original of. It is the original one of it. You do have the consciousness of it. And I was saying all this stuff, and people were going, "Oh, you just read a bunch of Edward Casey books." And I'm like, "Who is Edward Casey?" Because I mean, if y'all know my story, I mean, I got activated and boom, 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 is off to the races. I haven't had time to sit down and read a book about anything occult or. And then I went and looked up his chart, and son of a gun, if he doesn't have energy in Polis, because Polis is at 1 degree Capricorn. And what I realized, and my Jupiter is right there because I have this energy. So that's when I realized, oh gosh, we're just in the same Akashic library. That's why it's like, duh, there's just certain things that you know or you have found out, and this is a collective reading, right? That is holding the outside, because we just created this all over again. This is all new. I mean, this is so this Lyra 1 bubble, if you will, that's the main outside bubble of the new race. Now that everything's done, then projects a macrosity of reality in whatever your subject is. So Lyra 1 beings, and those of us who are ascended now, I don't care if you have Lyra 1 or not, if you're conscious, then you are a new Lyra 1 energy. And that means that whatever you think, whatever you say, whatever you focus on, you are projecting it to the masses. Now you can utilize that, or you can also make it feel like it's taking over your life or putting you in a spaceship even. But when you make a decision about something, it does change the macro. It goes out to the collective first, like on the big computer screen, just because when you hold this Lyra 1 energy, you're picking it up first, then you're transmuting it down the line. That don't mean it couldn't change. That message definitely is going to be different whenever it gets to Lyra 3. But no matter, this Lyra 1 energy is going to hold the root where it all began. So there's no right or wrong. It's where it began. And right now in this new energy, and with the collective and the rebirth and everything that's just now balancing, I believe it's just telling us, and it's another 8. And we know this, but it's also so macro. Also, in this energy, you think that you aren't changing stuff. See, if power is not the word to describe what it feels like whenever you're connected into this energy and you help somebody, you heal somebody, you change something. Like, power is not the word to use, although it's what most people would use, because it's just like a force that comes in and assists you. Lyra 1 is connected into that. I'm seeing right now. So if you took like the best way to describe this is the flower grid, the flower grid life pattern. If you put the flower of grid life pattern over the ley lines, then this is how Lyra 1 is connected into everybody. Lyra's a heart. And so when those energies from the cosmos pull and coil into that heart, depending on what strings are holding the heart to the scales, and then how that harp and that scale are working together to weave in space, because all this is compressing in to change us here and then going out. Now, it's original thoughts of creators and powers up through Lyra 1 to project to the masses. It also is the original vampiric lines and counts and counts because of the density and the mind control. Now I say vampire just because there, energy vampire, whatever it is. A lot of the times, those of us who had this energy and we didn't know, we can accidentally suck energy out of people, but we don't even know. You know, we're just excited. We just get excited and we're like, we call somebody and we're like, ah! You know, and we didn't know that we held this energy. And then so we weren't aware, because and then they're like, oh my God, you're sucking the energy out of me. I have this a bunch of, because of course we put back together this Lyra one energy. I had a lot of beings around me with this energy. And if they held it stronger than me in their physical bodysuit, right? It was like these beings would keep asking me questions because I mean they were, which they should. I mean, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to dive into the Akashic Library. When I'm with you, I'm in with your Akashic Library. We're having a communication. You know, no two conversations will ever be the same. We come together as two and we unlock certain energies out of each other. And where'd I was going somewhere with that, and then I stopped and I even got up and did a circle. Your perceptions on the topic matter. Just remember, your opinion sticks for millions. And don't judge when you don't know a lot about something. Just don't. Just choose not to choose. Just be like, I think it's wrong, but I don't know all the details, because in this energy, if you start judging people a lot, it will show up on your doorstep quick as shit. Because if and this is just for us ascended and the responsibility of it too. Because no matter if you have this energy in your chart or in your progressed or in your draconic, this is where we're at as a collective. Don't judge nothing that you don't know all sides of. And if you don't have to make a decision or judgment call, don't. Just don't. Now, if you feel like you need to, then heck yeah, that's what, pull the plug, open up the nozzle. That's why it's here, man. Lyra training. It's because you can call on any force and power to help you. If your move is going to help the collective in any way, I don't care how big you think it is. You get in this energy, the collective's behind you. That's that power. That's that force. So if you feel like you're supposed to be standing up for it, you better do it. You better do it. You better not. But if you don't. And it's the wisdom to know the difference. So then I said, okay, with that energy, what is working with that 26 Lyra 1 energy? And these colors, I love these colors. These are the colors I wear all the time. It's ivory and basically like a copper. Basically like ivory and copper. I got FOMO hot, number 31. And FOMO hot is purple and peach. And that's where Saturn is right. Meow. And we talked about FOMO hot energy yesterday, but again, these two energies, number 17 and number 31, see, these energies are quite the same, but balancing two different things. This Algorab energy, that's Libra, that's balancing out the energetics of Earth in the lower houses with the higher houses. Okay? Friction. This is going to be an I. 31 is the coming together from it all to a pinpoint to an I. It's much further out. It's much more ancient. It's this FOMO hot star. It's been around a lot, hell of a lot longer than Algorand. Okay? And it's in Pisces. This is where Saturn is right now. This is where the original split came in, that from Cygnus to Hyades, and the first ascension was Cygnus and Orion on the planet. The first ascension ever down here, you were you either went to Cygnus or you went to Hyades. But Hyades could have been coming into a body, losing consciousness. You could be an animal, whatever, or you went to heaven, if you will. Fomalhaut is Cygnus beings. Regulus is Cygnus beings. So this is never ending. Regulus and Fomalhaut, this is like these together. Regulus in the lower houses, Fomalhaut in the higher houses. So this is where we're dealing with mermaid type energies too. Never ending story type energy too. Even the Judah lion and all that in those stories, that came from land. But then you have the more fictional reality stuff, but from the imagination, okay? Because you're in Pisces, but from the collective that is captured up there and then beamed back down. So Fomalhaut with Lyra 1, that's like boom. It's like the furthest out, changing it the whole masses, and then Fomalhaut changing and balancing the perception. And then I pulled two more because I said, okay, if I did a balance over here, then give me one over here and give me one over here. Well, son of a gun, if I didn't get Cygnus, which we just talked about, which is number 30, and Cygnus is peach and purple, but it's mostly peach. You're in the peach. You're looking for the purple. You're up there in the heavens looking for what? The pearly gates. Heaven. Looking for that shiny purple, magenta fire. That purple fire, right? But Cygnus is your angelic realm. Well, what does that mean? That the subconscious of everybody that was down in Regulus, even kings and queen lines, because all of us were in some point in a way in some different variations, all different royalty at different levels, depending on what you're here for and what your mission is. And angelic realm is opposite number 13 Regulus. It's the royal, which is the royal kings and queens of Earth. It's the human emotions and justice is funneling to you to make the change. Because the other thing is realize that it's not just if you're a king or queen. It's that when you're in Regulus energy, okay, Regulus is in Leo. It's the opposite in the wheel, right? So when you're in Regulus energy down in Leo, then, or if you have this energy, then every time you make a decision, you're basically setting it for your entire line. Anybody else who has that frequency, no matter what you do. It's kind of like always having a little sister around looking over your shoulder going, should you do that? Or you're fixing to do something that you know you really shouldn't do, but you're like, I'm on Earth, so I can just get away with it or whatever. And then you turn around and you see your little sister staring at you like, do you want me to follow what you do? And you're like, shit, that's this energy right here. That's this energy because it really is when you hold this energy. Because why? Because Regulus is a paw on top of the cosmic wheel. And so Regulus has got, if you will, their thumb, which is in the body in Leo, but then it goes all the way to the top on the other side, and it's like a bowling ball. It's got two fingers in Aquarius and Pisces. So whenever you have that Regulus energy, you're getting all this up here, this mind connection, this and that, right? Well, you're getting it from everything going on down here too. Because whenever you're the king or the queen, you know a lot of stuff about the rest of the court that you kind of wish that you didn't as well, right? It sucks to be the queen most of the time, and everybody would be in agreement. But then in the human body, you want to have it out for the queen. You see what I'm saying? But that's in the lower houses. In the higher houses, in this energy, it's more like, the ascended energy of understanding, hey, well, we're all working together. We all got different missions. There's light and dark. We're going to, we're going to da-da-da-da-da. Let's go build something. Come on, let's just do it. Angelic realm is over here on our shoulders. Like it's human emotions. It's getting into the compassion, but it is a superpower is the collective compassion. When you have Cygnus energy, and this is what we're in right now, is a collective. So compassion is a superpower. Understanding Not judging doesn't necessarily mean that there might not be a punishment. You just don't have to be the judge, juror, and right. Getting attacked and manipulated. This is also Cygnus beings and my angels mostly get attacked with emotional manipulation from everybody around them. Constantly giving, and I get wrapped up in this energy that I give, and then I'm just depleted, and I'm like, wait a minute, well, I've had to get and to the point where you become Queen of Swords, right? So that wounded warrior energy, because it's like, I know I can help everybody, I know I can do this, I know, but I'm only one person, I can only do da 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 da, right? Well, you got to get really good at putting off your boundaries for the ones that are sucking you dry, even these that don't even realize they're doing it. I'm telling you, most people do not even realize. Your friends that call and drain your energy, or and you feel like you need to reconnect with them, but you're like, oh God, I'm not really sure, but I feel. Tell them, hey, whenever I talk to you, do you know that you drain my energy? Like, this is the only way for us to communicate to each other how we're making each other feel, because 9 times out of 10, especially in this energy right now, where everybody's activating these dormant energies, and if you're an empath and if you're picking it up, that's what's been happening this past couple of weeks, is we're picking up all this dormant energy that's being released in all these humans down here, because it's getting a flush and it's coming through in waves. I watched it on space. If you please click the bell and go to the community channel, because I put a lot of space weather stuff up there, like videos that I have to see, and I'm watching out, because everything that I'm talking about right here on this board is happening out in the cosmos around us right now, right now. So putting up your boundaries, letting people know how it's affecting with you staying calm, do not react, because what's working over here with Orion, Sirius B is 12 to 16 degrees Cancer, and that is your mind. It's the collective mind. It's where I think the moon is going over right now. I know something right now. Oh gosh. Right now. That just happened. So if somebody asked a question, if I should do something, I don't. That just happened. I don't know. One of y'all just asked in your mind, should I do something or this and this and that? That was your answer right now. Sirius B is collective mind. It reads energy in all air bands and technology. This is a lot of the information I gave you yesterday was Sirius B type information. It was mind and being able to process it into yellow, okay, into knowledge. And Sirius B is baby blue. Here's the Syrian colors. They're your pastels and rose pink. And we changed these just a little bit. This one's a little bit lighter shade to show the variance. But it's baby blue and baby yellow. It's your body would weigh 1,000 pounds on Sirius. You don't see, and this was the whole thing with Avatar and Siri, because Siri was a character that was trying to jump, those characters that they were making to take over these bodysuits in order to show up in the dimension, even. Because then when you think about it, and if you've got enough beings thinking about it and creating it and intending it, then and they got enough power out here in the space program, then that's what's going to end. Was a possibility. It's not anymore because of what we reset right here and these DNA codes. It's why we know all this. If this attempt wouldn't have been made to do what I just said, I wouldn't have had to bring in all this information and explain it, and it wouldn't have been made available in this realm to pick up in order to use to help. But in the wrong hands, this information is super powerful, is it not? Well, too late. They already had it. Series B. Corn through Cancer. This is why this is a Cancer to Capricorn shift. Look at the numbers on the outside. That's serious. 11111111474. 11111111474. Whenever you draw this frequency of Sirius, the physics patterns, we're gonna have some cool stuff. Man, I can't wait for everybody to get involved in this to grow, because this is gonna be a little bit further down, but that's how far out we've got stuff to get to y'all. This Sirius Cancer pattern looks just like all the Indian weaves. Every Indian weave that, and the women that were channeling the weave patterns back from your tribes, and the original Indian tribe weave patterns are from Sirius. And this is, the ancient prophecies, and the dog tribe, and all of that was for right now in human history. It's the magnitude, it's needs, but the energy here, and to balance it, because this is what it is. It's in the human mind, so this is why this is that light and dark too. Okay, well, what do we need to do? We just need to balance through your creations in the reality. You need to balance through your creations in the reality. Now, let me tell you, I can't believe I just read that, because right before I got on here, because I haven't done an energy thing like this before in front of all of y'all. I've been doing these kind of in the back end a little bit. And I was like feeling all this anxious energy. And all morning I've been like, drop the blocks of what the hell is prolonging me to do this and this. And I got all this anxious energy, and I looked down, and I heard, it's because you're using your own tools. Because we created these cards, we created this, we channeled it, but we still created. Whenever you come into your own, and I've talked about this, because I think this is, I really feel like, as a spiritual being, which everyone is, 7 times out of 10, we end up accidentally running from our own blessings. Now, let me tell you why. When you create, when you're stepping into your own creation, it feels weird. It feels weird. Now, depending on what energetic pieces you're connected to, because you might be connected to all of them. Maybe your creation is more from the top. But if it's all the way at the top, then remember, it's having to be cleared all here at the bottom. And by the time you've created and you're ready to step into it, and because by the time you're ready to step into it, you've had to cut everything from it and release it at some point. Let it all go. You have, throughout your process, you've had to somehow release whatever, let it go, see if it comes back, because it didn't just happen overnight, right? So you've gone through all the processes, all the stages, waited all the time, whatever, for da 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 da, and whenever it shows up and you step into it, it feels like you want to jump out of your skin in some way. I have done it. I talked about the first time this happened to me, and my instant reaction was, it was something negative that was trying to hurt me. My instant reaction was that it was something negative trying to hurt me, because what I was feeling was my own light, my own power, basically, when I stepped in, because I mean, if you know me, my whatever I'm doing, it's for the collective and it's for the greater good of everybody. My Lord have mercy. Whenever you step into it, it I can't even describe it messes with you, and you immediately so much light that comes in to your energetic and your connection. It's like a charge happens, and when that charge happens, the first instinct is to see the shadow for me. Or if you're an empath, or if you're clairvoyant, or whatever, right? Because you could, maybe you're even hearing the echo and it scares you, or you feel that energetic surge flush through you, right? Most of the time it's something you created in some way, and that's why we say, when you're working with the shadow, don't ever send it away. You got to at least talk to it and interact with it, because it showed up at your door. There's a reason it showed up at your door, right? It's also the magnitude of what your brain can create, but the question to ask, should you? See, with the power of this and the power of the mind linked into the power of the masses, this is a lot of responsibility. Those of us who are in these key positions, we're made to hold that responsibility. So give us a break in other areas if that doesn't happen to be you. But if you do want it to be you, then you're in the energy frequency of it, whether or not it's in your energy or not. You see what I'm saying? This is why the physics of how this new energy in the new world works is all about your energy frequency. And then those of us that are working together to create currents, because when we create them, this is how far deep in the bone, deep in the marrow, all the way out to the skin layers of original root races, and in the middle of your brain. It's the Holy Grail. Sirius B was the Holy Grail. It's the Holy Grail to every pirate that's out there. Why? Because they need your mind to get there. Because they're telling you this on the dark side. They need groups. They need a bunch of people. They need all that. They need all that to hold certain energetics. Well, we do it organically. We're doing it from a consciousness, and not forcing anything or controlling anything. But no matter, you need a current. You need a charge. The bottom of the deck was Arcturus. We talked about that yesterday. Balancing it. I just pulled another one, and I got the past. Okay, which is lower timelines, history. You forgot something. This was also Gemini. It's like a Gemini energy, but it came out reversed. It's pointing over here at Cygnus. Again, looking in the past. Again, looking at the past, but it's the past reversed. So what you might consider the past isn't really the past. It may be still coming. Even is what I'm seeing on this. You needed to alchemize something, but you forgot something. See, this straight up means it's you forgot something. You needed to alchemize to shift the gate. Well, it's been done. It came in reverse with Taurus at the top. Came in reverse with Taurus at the top. I got Aldebaran. We just talked about the end of the deck, and there's our Alpha Draconic Notice 2 coming out. Energy number 1, that's that again, that's Aries 12 to 19 degrees. This is the 44, the highest body template that you can, that stacks. It's a node, just like this one. So we've got both nodes that just came out. Notice 1, notice 2. These two energies in the cosmos are the step stools on Isis's hat. If you've got notice 1 and you've got notice 2 energy in your chart, you are a shifter. Your body will shift like mine did. My bone structure changed, my hips changed, my cheeks changed, everything changed. I activated a new bone template. I wasn't the only one. A group of us did it. A group of us that had these nodes connected into these cosmic layers of how long our DNA had been here doing it. But we got both of them on the board now. It holds the bone projection era shift codes. And see, this one I have it to where it's written on both sides. And guess what? At the top, opposite algorithm. This is the polar opposite. So it's like this algorithm energy over here that's the scales of Libra that's holding everything up at 12 to 16 degrees is shooting over to Aries. And Alpha Draconic notice it's 2, but it's a Roman numeral 2. Go look it up on Google. And I think I might even have a video of this on the channel. This constellation is massive. This constellation is massive, and it's way out in deeper space. And it's got a little, it wraps up, and then it's got like a little box. And there's 13 stars. This even goes back to 13 family type stuff, because it was all cosmos stuff. I'm telling you, everything has been about constellations, cosmos. There's 5. It's a snake, and the mouth is notice 1. The notice 2 is the tongue. You've got the tongue of the dragon, and then it goes through a C curve, and then right on the other side, that's notice 1. Notice 2 is the tongue. I don't know if I said that right. Make sure I say again. Notice 1 is on this side, that's connected before the throat, and it's through the tail, and it wraps around 5 times. There's 5 different energetic frequency, because this is a massive constellation area over in Aries. There's not very many stars in Aries. It's a lot of space. Okay, well, this would be the magnitude of all that. And so and even the COVID and the coronavirus, everything's a C, everything's C code even. And the notice 1 star is on this side of the C curve, of the horseshoe, of the node, and notice 2 is on the other side, right before the tongue. Okay, that's where these stars are in that constellation. It is exactly the shift that the whole human race has gone to with this shift, and this happened from this energy to this energy is then understand, because this energy is leadership energy. It's also hybrids. It's like the hybrid of the line. You could call it that, just because you're getting from the collective all the upgraded energy to be able to do it, because that is how the whole thing was set up, as a projector to shoot through to Libra, right? So that gives me freaking awesome that tells me we're right on to what basically it's like taking over the old energetic projector that was how everything was projected down here. And even, I mean, I know it's lining up. I've been watching it. We know that it's studying a lot of it. I mean, not study like study, but studying. I had a high priestess at the bottom of the deck, and I am not a tarot reader. I do not claim to be. I'm seeing what we got though. King of Wands. So practicality, definitely a king energy, a feminine force energy. There she is. Balance, justice, and look at that imagery. Look how he's holding up a wand, and she's holding up a scale on the other side. Again, completely balanced, but also wands to me. Look, I could be wrong, but wands to me is magic. But it doesn't necessarily have to be dark magic, just a force also. Ah, Five of Cups reversed. Sadness. Reversed. Finally. Finally. So we've got some type of balance coming in. All right. So I had the Queen of the Ocean, abundance. Man, a lot of feminine power. She came out a little sideways with the Eight of Cups. With the Eight of Cups. Beautiful. So the feminine going through a change. This justice again. I'm hearing from the inside. From the inside. Oh my Lord! Look at that. High Priestess, intuition. Man, I'm hearing right now. It's like so many of us are gonna be so freaking glad we did not get what we was asking for, or sometimes I thank God for unanswered prayer. Remember when you're talking to the man upstairs. And I don't even know if I changed the words right on that, but that's how that one became. But our intuition, even just to hold off for a second, whatever that is, that gut instinct, and also that is what's changing the feminine. Let's see what came out over here. We've got recognition. Three of Pentacles, that's also partnerships, right? Isn't it? Money partnerships. It's on its side. Well, and it's on the masculine side. But see, this is a lot. This is a lot where the masculine finally starting to go, oh crap, where's my money? My money has to be clean. Like all these things that the masculine isn't thinking matter. Those of us who know, we're not here to freaking take you over and hold you down and make you do it, but we're here to tell somebody so that it can stop. What do we got? Travel. We got travel in reverse on the masculine side. Tell me more about the King of Wands. So I got the world, regeneration. So I going through this change. I mean, because this is the masculine and feminine in all of us. But it's like too, this masculine energy is like a page considered to this, right? I mean, we've got Justice, we've got the High Priestess, and the Queen of the Ocean, and we're going to get one fish. But he's coming, it's coming through the portal. Well, this is travel reverse. So I mean, again, in that past card came up reversed. And he ain't calm about it. So there's something something about a restriction, but it's happening. Yeah, there's a new beginning. Beautiful. Page of Cups with the imagination on the bottom of the deck. Remember, if your story is not going the way you want it right now, then pull yourself out of it, go chill out, get your energy up, and write it. What do you want to happen? Say it. Write it down. I want it. This is what I want to happen. Don't be greedy. Don't be hasty. Don't take over. And a lot of the times, if you're not in a relationship with somebody yet in the physical, stop using that person's name that you think it is too. Like, unless you know them specifically and you're in a relationship and it's on the rocks and you're praying for that relationship to take, do not wish a relationship in your life that you haven't met the person. I have learned this lesson the hard way. I don't care how powerful in imagination and all that we are, because we are so powerful within the mind, and sometimes we don't realize. No matter, no, I mean, and there were reasons that all of it had to be built before. No matter, but be careful, because sometimes we're so powerful that we don't realize that we're messing with somebody's free will on accident, just because we're thinking about them so much or something. You know what I mean? That's what, because in its own way, that is a love spell, not a manipulative one. It's not a black magic spell, but I mean, that is when you're in love. That's why you're in love. You can't stop thinking about each other all the time. And your energy, that energy picks each other up and carries you in this euphoric bubble, which is why everybody wants to be in love. But if only one person's in love, and it happens to be that you're a balanced high priestess and the queen of the ocean, and your love changes people's lives, don't name this guy until you know who he is. Five of Wands competition too, and Two of Wands had a vision. Up and victory. So this is beautiful. The balancing out. I want to do one more thing. I hope y'all like this. I can't wait to get these cards all printed because you should see them on the graphics. It's going to be a great deck. It's going to have you're going to have all these colors to really be able to dive into it. We're going to be able to see the progressions and how, because when you really start looking at these colors, the way that they are lined up, which you're going to be able to see on the website and how we're putting it together for you, it really is, you can see its sequences, how the color is made. I'm going to pull a couple just from here. I know that's not a good, this is an old deck. This is my 2019 deck. If I got any people that were around me 2019, please say hi. Okay. So I know this. I need to get this picture lightened. This picture was from Las Vegas, and this was a EDM. It was a dance party, but it was one of those ones that you wear speakerphones, and it was at the Oasis. This is one of my trippy experiences. For me, but this card is go within, meditate, introspect. It's number 53, another 8. So go within is your action. All right. Which is interesting because it came out right next to the study card. So this is a book with sunglasses on the front, but it's just going and somebody's doing some research. There's a bunch of introspection going on and a little bit of research, connections, time healing, I don't know. Knowledge. They could be gaining knowledge. If it's coming in on the inside, I feel like what's going on with so many of us and why things aren't moving specifically maybe right now is because we're getting it all downloaded inside of us. We're having to process it. We're having to make sense of it so that it can come out in. And this is one of Michelle's cards. Isn't this gorgeous? She's graphic artist. Her stuff's all this stuff. Michelle Campen, woo woo, from Netherlands. She's business partner and she's been with me for 4 years on everything. And um, this is her art, and this is the gratitude card. But I just talked about that flower life grid. So this tells me this is on. Our energy as a collective is what is going out on this grid. The flower of life grid, the one that goes over the entire planet, universe, ley lines, all that. So gratitude, being in gratitude, being able to be calm. Now, interestingly enough, we got the shadow card. And this is actually the solo orgasm card. Now, I know a lot of us had to get ourselves out of this tree. Isn't this crazy? This is actually a tree that's out there in the world that, I mean, You know, and we learn that the root of all of this is connected into this infrastructure we call Earth in different ways that just blow our goggles. But we're rebirthing all of that, right? But then you don't want to get stuck in the tree. Like when everything gets rebirthed, you don't want to go back to being a seed again. You're like, damn, can I be the flower this time? I want to go be a seed again. I finally went through this part, right? But a lot of times we get stuck in this tree. And interestingly enough, this is the shadow card. It's riding a bicycle and someone is coming. There's motion. It's in motion. There is a shadow coming. There is something there that's lining up. Is it what came out of the tree? Now, with that Algorab energy and how it's all lining up, and even what we've been talking about, the shadow isn't necessarily a bad thing when we're talking about mirror dimensions. I mean, it's your mirror image, it's your twin. It is what it is. It's going to be a different energetic than you, no matter. It's going to, because that's why. If you're a twin, it's going to be different. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to look totally different. And oh my God, I'm going to have to love a nerd. No, maybe, maybe, but it won't feel like that if that happens. If there is that type of connection, my point is, if you're super outgoing and wound up, you most likely are not going to end up. Your twin is not going to be super outgoing and all wound up, just because that would throw it all out of balance, right? But make sure that you're, and this is to all of us, make sure that we understand that we can move around now. We're not in the tree, we're out of the tree. Don't stay in the tree. Even command to pull yourself out of this tree, because any ones of us who have a lot of ancient knowledge in our DNA that even has force gifts in the physical body that come from the root of ancestors that would be considered power down here, you came through this, because the root of all everything always started in some type of creation story from a tree. All right, guys. Well, I hope y'all have a fantastic day. I wanted to also, real quick, um, there's a lot of solar plexus sacral energy clearing stuff going on right now. So, stomach, if you're all of a sudden just feeling like your stomach, or ovaries, and so what we're seeing, and I know with all the alignments that are coming up, this is where we're at, is the sacral energy and the solar plexus, just depending on how your energy is connected into the collective, and if you're still on your cycles, if you still have your cycles, are those more to full moon or new moon? We've seen those move around because you're and move back around. I think I've talked about that before. But say, so I know stomach stuff has just been coming up. I'm just letting y'all know that it's been coming up. So if you're having any type of little attacks from it, no, it is collective, that we're going through different bits of stomach stuff, nausea, some of it also just because of dizziness. And I'm also being asked right now, just for everybody to, at their highest consciousness, to remember carbon dioxide versus oxygen, and to say out loud, I ask the universe to show me how to get enough oxygen and transmute through hydrogen layers. And I don't know who all that was for. I know that I've had to do that before, when we birthed this new realm, and this, when I popped out in 2019, it had to do with helium and hydrogen. But you can, in your body, program yourself. Like, go figure out how many times a week you want to work out. Go write it down. You will end up working out that many times. even if you end up walking somewhere that you didn't think you were supposed to. Make sure you remember that everything has consciousness at the highest levels. So if you're missing something, ask for it. That's it. And then listen for the keys and get really good at learning how to read your energy. So give me a thumbs up. And please, if you liked this, so I know how to proceed, and y'all have a great day.